Good morning everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today. So we're starting with Euro USD as usual, and we are in the zone for buying at the moment, and that is between 10882 and 108696. Not too happy with the oscillators at the moment because they are a little bit overextended, but there is also a trend line here as well, so there is scope. I just want to get the next logical level. We might as well put the fourth one in. Okay, so there is scope for a move further down to 108344. That would make the most sense. This would break the trend line. So actually, let's get rid of that. Don't want that. So that's kind of the three levels that we need to look at on the 8 hour. If we drop down to the 1 hour, bit of chaos and then a big sell-off, straight into some structure. We are waiting for a little bit of data today as well. Look at the oscillators all grouped to the downside in a fairly decent area. Nice pin bar this morning, followed up with an inside bar. So pin bar is kind of almost still in play, but you'd want to see an immediate break above it. So get down to the 15-minute. What you're looking at is, to be on the safe side, is a break and retest of 108943. Break retest of that, you're looking for gap close first, and then I would expect us to recapture. That would be my first target at the moment, is 109098. I'd expect to pull back and then recapture that area. Recapture that area, that starts to set up another attempt to this previous high here, and just get your trend line in. That's fairly strong. You can see fourth time unlucky, but we tried 3 times to get through and then dropped all the way back down. A bit of a deeper pullback than we were expecting, but nevertheless, just looking at the 8 hour, looking at the 1 hour, trend is still up, so we can still get a little bit of a drop to the next level, and that would still be an area where we need to pay attention to. Moving on to US dollar Japanese yen. So we kind of pulled back a little bit further than what we were expecting. What I was looking for was something along there. We started building something and then we just dropped below it. So this gap is not closed yet, so that is still very much in play. Look at the oscillators grouping quite nicely at the moment. Basically not for a shoot all the way up to the top, but for a pullback and then a reset to the downside. So what we're looking for today is obviously a continuation of this, and it's a bit messy at the moment. So take this level here and get the 3 levels in. So there's what we're looking at, and we're looking for trend continuation to the downside. So everything is down. The 8 hour is just saying we're a little bit tired, so you need to be careful. But looking at the 1 hour, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. So if you drop down to the 15-minute, you'll see any rejection in this area is something you need to be paying attention to. We do have a story of 3 rejection here, but then obviously Asian time frame is kind of when it goes haywire. So I think we're looking to see what happens here. If we can get a proper rejection, there's one brewing here, but I want to wait for the market open. So once the European markets open, then we can have a look at this for another move to the downside. My target at the moment is 130553. So I'm looking for price action in this area like we have here, and then I'm looking for a move down to this area. Moving on to pound, British pound, Japanese yen, and also another one which got back into the zone, but just all over the place. I mean, price action yesterday was all over the place. Lots of traps everywhere. I think lots of people got caught with stops being taken. I was one of them as well. But nevertheless, that's how it goes. If we look at the 8 hour, trend is definitely to the upside. Look at the oscillators, look at the diversions that's brewing. So we should be looking for an opportunity to buy. When we look at the 1 hour, we see a break of the moving averages and a retest of the 155. So this is telling us we need to look for a move to the downside. Downside target would be this area here at 161.861, and then obviously the gap is also in play, but I'd rather target these tails here before I focus on the gap. So at first the tails, then a bounce, then if you get another rejection, then you target the gap. So that's kind of the setup that we've got. But if you look what happened yesterday, a bit of confusion in the middle of the day, and then during the US session down, big gap down, and then a reversal. So I would argue, I just want to get this one here, and then I'm going to put 3 levels in here, and that's kind of the focus we're looking at. So drop down to the 15-minute, you're looking for a retest of 163.437 and 163.492 for a move to the downside. If that breaks the upside, you're probably going to form a channel, a range, not a channel, and you probably get a rejection of 163.706. Personally, that is your target there, 161.861. So treat this as a range. Either trade a short off the top, tight stop loss, or what you need to do is wait for a break of this 163.050 and a retest, and then take that trade to the downside. London breakout would be a very interesting strategy, because if you break the downside of the first 8 1-hour bars, that's going to set up something very interesting for you. But look at the 1 hours at the moment, tails to the upside, tails to downside, barbed wire confusion, so just be very careful there. Lastly, Euro British Pound, and we got moving to the downside, we bounced the upside as I expected, and then your short play came into it from the zone that we're in at the moment. That short's still in play. I still think we're targeting 0.87302. So if you drop down to the 1 hour, look at the confusion here. And this is kind of where you need to keep your wits about you, and your stops need to be perfect. And again, textbook scenario of why you want multiple levels in play, and also your 155 is your trend line. You get a close above that, and then there is a potential for a trend reversal. But when you reject it like that, and if you look at the 15-minute, you can see all over the place, above and below the moving averages, pretty much a range bound. But playing that engulfing bar there on the 15-minute, so you would have looking for an entry somewhere around there, stop of around 150 points, and you'd be 230 points in the green at the moment. So anyway, what we're looking for, just fine tune this a little bit, I would be looking for a retest. So there's a bit of a zone here. Looking for a retest of 0.87590 and also a 0.87653. Looking for a retest of that area, and you can see how that lines up. There's one in the middle here as well, which would also give us some scope, and that's 0.87611. So I'm looking for a retest of that area. That would get me a second leg down, and that target is 0.87302. Anyway, that's it for me today. There should be some quick moves today before the long weekend. I think this afternoon session will be pretty slow and muted as well. So we will catch up with you next Tuesday. Enjoy the long weekend, and cheers for now.